comprehending in my brain at all. Yes, so much has happened. Oh my goodness gracious. I went on tour. I filmed a movie,
Yeah.
Opposite Order, and now I'm back. So yay.
I mean, let's talk about your first headline tour. How did that go?
It was so amazing. Oh my God. Yeah, it was my first tour ever, right? I've never been on tour in my life. I did kind of like one-off shows and stuff like that, but it was so incredible and so hard and so wonderful and so exhausting and very much a learning like curve. And I feel I learned so much.
Right.
Even for my voice and stuff like that, truly, I had to kind of like get a new kind of type of endurance, like vocal endurance, right? There's studio singing, you spend hours and hours singing at the studio, and when you're writing, and that's a different type of endurance than like doing 22 cities and 22 shows. So that was really interesting. I had no idea what to expect. And I truly feel I loved it more than I thought I was going to love it.
Now, what would you say is one of the highlights or favorite moment from going on tour?
There's so many.
That's a hard question. That really is.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many amazing cities. I think I was really hoping. I had heard legends. I had seen videos of my favorite artist and other artists from my friends have that moment where the audience like knows your songs and sings songs. And I'm very aware of the fact that, I am still an artist that is, independent, getting people to listen to my music, getting people to know the songs are out there. So I really didn't know if people who were coming to my shows would know my music. And that was something that was so incredibly special, was hearing the words of my songs like sung back to me, or sung with me rather. That was so special. There's a few shows where, as I was kind of gaining that vocal endurance, I was like losing my voice in the middle of the shows and stuff like that. And literally having, I would have the audience sing with me. And it was a really amazing moment because they knew all the lyrics and they knew the songs. And I didn't know if that was going to happen or not.
That is a for sure like goosebumps, pinch me moment,
Yeah.
hearing your fans and who's listening to you just sing back and belt the words. That's surreal. But, looking at that, was there a song in specific that the crowd would just absolutely belt out that you remember, wow, they really know this song word for word to heart?
Well, Boombox, I wasn't super surprised about that because that is one of like the oldest songs I
But
have.
yeah,
Um, and so that one was still freaking amazing to hear people sing it, but I wasn't surprised. Me was a really fun one because I think it's also like a super easy song for people to remember. The chorus is literally the word me over and over again. I went hard on the lyrics. But I think there were other songs, like even hearing people sing some of my newer music, like Smoke Alarm, I Want to Know What It's Like, Dance With You, like those were really amazing. And then I have some pretty incredible fans who, I played some unreleased music, so music that's not even out. And there were fans who knew the lyrics to those songs because they'd been watching videos on tour and hearing the song. So that was kind of amazing.
That's amazing. I mean, that is to come back from that and reflect on all that. I'm sure you're still indulging everything, and soaking everything in. It's probably like a wow, that really happened, and I have the best fans in the world.
1,000,000, 100 gazillion%. Yeah, it was very much, I already felt connected and felt so close to my fans, and tour just made it that much better, and that much, even fans who weren't able to make it because they live internationally, I just felt so close to them, and I want to now 100% tour again and
Right.
tour everywhere. I mean, it was It was so good. It was so special.
Well, speaking about tour, about 10 minutes before, we hopped on this live, you had a really exciting announcement for those, that may not, like you said, been overseas, may not have been able to watch you. You're actually doing a viewing party.
Yes.
Fans can enjoy a virtual viewing party. They can listen to the concert with you. So speak a bit about that.
Yeah. So, basically, I am going to be watching the show that I did in New York. I played at Mercury Lounge. It was my first sold out show ever, so it was very, very exciting. And we filmed it. It was actually supposed to go live to people, who had bought tickets, and the internet didn't work. We had a technical difficulty. My life. And had this footage, and New York was such a special show, right? It was my first sold out show, such an amazing crowd. It's also just
Right.
it was, God, my fifth show of tour. So definitely was learning that vocal endurance. But it was a really, really special night, and we had this footage, and I was like, I really want to do something, especially because fans weren't able to watch it who, had wanted to watch it and got tickets and, got refunded and all the things. So essentially, not only can you watch the show, right? You are able to watch an encore of the show anytime in the 24 hours that we have it. It's going to be Friday, September 30th. Right. But we have limited tickets available for people to actually watch with me. So we have watch rooms of 10 people. So it'll be 10 people in this room, 10 people in this room, so on, so on, so on. And I'll be kind of going through each room and spending, quite a few minutes there, hanging, watching the show with you, talking about behind the scenes stuff, making fun of myself for sure. That's kind of, on top of the list. And actually, again, getting connected to fans virtually, which I think will be really, really special. I've never done something like this before. I've done, virtual showing of a tour or something like that. But actually getting to watch the show while talking to fans, I think will be really cool.
That's amazing. So tell us how the fans, watching this, if they want to purchase a ticket, how do they go about that?
So essentially, I posted on my page. I'm doing it with Fly Machine. It's a link in my bio. You can go to my story right now. The links are all over. And by the links, I mean one link, but it's you can go to that link, and so you can get a ticket that's just watching the show, or if you're able to, there are limited tickets available to watch with me.
Gosh, that's so exciting. What a great event.
I'm
Honestly.
super, super excited. And there's a bundle. We're also giving away some merch as well. So I believe we're giving posters and vinyls. So
You're doing it all for the fans, as it should be. September 30th, you guys, make sure you guys are going on Laura's page, clicking the link, buying those tickets, supporting her, going to hang out with her. I mean, I've done that. Remember when I joined your Zoom when you talked about,
yes,
I loved it. You were so in detail, so funny. You're so great at honestly, poking fun at yourself, and you're just so lighthearted and just kind. So I'm a stan. I love talking to you.
literally the sweetest. Yes, that was super fun. For anyone who doesn't know, yeah, I did a special. That was for the UEP, right?
Yes, that was.
Yeah. So yes, it was the UEP. It wasn't the U Deluxe. I'm like two different types of the same EP. It's still about it. But yes, I talked about that whole experience and had a little listen party with a few people. And I was very grateful that you were here and listened and was there, and you were lovely.
Of course, of course. So you guys, make sure you guys go get that experience. But Laura, I pulled 5 fan asked questions, but before we get into those, I mean, I want to talk about your Us EP. I was playing it all morning and it hits the heart for sure. So tell me a little bit about this writing process for this EP.
Yeah, listen, I certainly didn't know what the EP was going to be about. It's kind of the end of this trilogy of EPs that I started my independent artist journey with. I started with the Me EP, the UEP, and then I finished with the SEP. So I always envisioned having these three EPs. You know, I didn't know for sure if that was going to happen or not. When I first put out the Me EP, I'm like, that'd be so cool if I could have three EPs. And then I did the UEP, and then I had the SEP. But something interesting happened while the SEP was coming to be. I went through a breakup. So obviously things that you don't expect, and that's kind of how life goes. And so I very much became so inspired to write about that and write what I was feeling, you know, quite immediately, right? That was in, you know, that was last, we're not in the summer, we're in September. So I started writing this EP probably June, and the breakup happened like late May. So it was very much super raw. I was talking to a few writers at that time who had also been going through breakups, and it's interesting, either you can't write immediately after a breakup, or you're very, very inspired by it, and it's kind of how you heal and process. So that was certainly my experience. It was a little bit of both. It was really, really hard, but I was also very thankful for it. And I wrote, a majority of this EP that summer to fall, kind of just processing and healing aloud. And that music, you know, ended up in, you know, two of the songs were in a movie I was in called The Royal Treatment, which I certainly didn't plan for one of them was kind of hurt to be in, because it was very, very personal to what I was going through.
Right.
But then, the other songs, it all came together, and I really wanted to play on this idea that, you know, it sounds, every time I say it, I'm like, oh, it sounds really, really sad. But the idea that fairy tales don't always have a happy ending, but that doesn't mean that they were any less magical. Also, my surfboard is here, and I keep trying to like hide it because I need to put it in the regular place that it's in. So I had no idea what to expect from fans, because it was a really, really personal bunch of songs. And I mean, I should stop saying I don't know what to expect, because per usual, they were so lovely and so wonderful and so giving and so supportive. And it was very, very special releasing this music for them to hear. This is probably, I think, the most personal and probably the most special release I've had so far in my life. And so it was really important for me to get these songs out and have people hear them.
It's very raw, and you could tell it's very personal to you. And, you know, a lot of your fans really related and love Smoke Alarm. And I know that was kind of your focus on this EP. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, that was a song I wrote in August of last year. I want to say somewhere late July, August. And I guess I should say I started writing it because we wrote like the verse and the chorus. And then, I don't know, it just kind of really stuck with me, and I loved it so much. And I all the songs that I was writing was obviously about my breakup, but had come from ideas that I kept coming to me at night when I was like laying in bed, and I was like, ooh, that could be an interesting idea. Because we're crazy. When you write. But that song like literally came from the experience of that day. And there was something that was really interesting to me about that. And I just kept working on it. I was like, I think it's special, but it's not there yet. And so it was definitely a labor of love that took a while. And when we finally got it right, I felt very, very, very connected to it. And I had no idea again what to expect. But it was, you know, made New Music Friday on Spotify. It made breakthrough music and brand new music on Amazon. And that was really, really cool for me because, again, independent, have no help. And I was very, very excited by that.
That is a total congratulations. You should be so proud of that moment. But, you know, at the end of the Us EP, you did give a little tease of, you know, this time last year, which is going to be the next single. So what can you tell us about that? When can we be staying tuned for the release?
Okay, so this time last year, exactly what you said, I did this preview track. And I know I've never seen anyone do that before. And I think when you're independent, there's something, it's really hard. But one of the cool things about it is you get to do these really out of the box weird ideas. And I'd never seen someone do that before, do like a preview track of a song that's coming up. And it felt important to me that even though this was an ending of sorts, right? It's like the ending of this trilogy that I've been putting together and planning for a few years now. It really is kind of just the beginning of a lot of new music that I want to put out. So the best way to do that felt like having this little preview and teaser. So I am going to put it out before the end of the year. I will be talking more about it in early October, so keep in mind there. Wait, what'd you say?
Few more weeks. It's coming up.
A few more weeks. And it's funny because this time last year, I released another song called I Want to Know What It's Like. That was a little bit of this like transitional song in between like my two eras. And this time last year, in some ways, is kind of like that. And in other ways is kind of the beginning of this new era. So it's a little bit, I guess it is transitional in form, but I'm very excited about this next era of music, and I hope everyone is excited too.
These comments are going crazy. They're like, we need a release date before the end of the year. You guys stay patient with her. It's coming. October.
It is.
Just around the corner. We're going to be staying tuned. But Laura, your fans love you. We love you. But there was so many fan asked questions that I probably would have you here all day if I could. But I picked the best 5, the most frequently asked 5. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Okay, guys, apologies if I botch any Instagram names. I'm trying my best. But
of my life.
Yeah, right? I'm like, Cindy X Chen says, Laura, you've had an exciting yet busy year so far. In between the acting and the music, how have you prioritized self-care, especially when things get overwhelming? Great question, by the way.
Great question. Cindy, I love Cindy so much. She is my girl. Great question. Hey, one of my fans actually on tour gave me like I had fans give me so many amazing, wonderful gifts, and someone gave me like a self-care little like kit, which I really did. Shout out Cass. You know, I would probably say at the beginning of the year, I was doing pretty bad. I was I was doing bad necessarily. Not necessarily emotionally, but I was just like doing pretty bad in self-care because I was so many things happened at the beginning of the year. You know, the Royal Treatment came out, which was amazing. And then I, you know, was planning this tour. I ended up getting this movie in between, which I wasn't expecting. And I was so thankful for. And so before I left, I just kind of filled up my plate way too much. So I could, you know, I knew I was going to be gone for a really long time. I wanted to get a lot of things done. I think coming back from tour, I've been way better about, you know, engaging in self-care activities. For lack of a better phrase, reading a lot more, definitely, I think taking time away from technology, which is really important for me, but not too much time because there are a lot of emails to so definitely still finding the balance there. But I don't know. I think it's always going to be a bit of a balance for me. There's so many things I want to do, and I do have to kind of remind myself to do the best job at all the things that I want to do. I have to leave room to take care of myself and you know, have those moments just for me. So it is a balance, and I think I'm still learning for sure. Oh my God, I'm seeing people say Rainy.
Rainy.
Yeah, I love you, Rainy.
We love Rainy. She's
love
the best.
Rainy. I miss you. Hang out. So it's a balance for sure, and I'm still learning, to be honest.
It sounds like you need a spa day, my friend.
I need a few, I think. But I'm definitely in a more self-care mode coming back from tour, which is really nice.
Very well deserved. Okay, cool. Question 2 from your fans. Mrs. Thorson 629 says, Laura, What what is your favorite song to perform from the Me, You, and Us trilogy?
Ooh, May, great question. Okay. Oh, that's so hard. You know what? I think it ended up being Smoke Alarm. Smoke Alarm is, I don't know. It was, there are other songs I have that are quite sad and raw that um, were hard to perform on tour a little bit. And Smoke Alarm can be hard sometimes, but I don't know. I just love that song so much. And I loved performing it. So that's definitely up there. Um, Me's always really fun. And Something to Believe in, I think, is a really special one as well.
All right, we got three out of you. I like that. Smoke Alarm is so good. Laura, I cannot stress enough. It's
Thank
so
you.
true.
Thank you.
All right, question three, so I don't keep you here all day. Alyssa Matthew says, Laura, what is a favorite unreleased song?
Oh, that's so hard. I do love a song I have that I'm still figuring out the title, but I on tour called Arrow. That's definitely up there. And then I love a song that I'm still figuring out the title, called The Best I Could or Someday or something else. That one is really special to me. And then there's a few that no one has heard that I also really love as well. So
So on that note, we stay tuned.
yeah.
Okay, we like that. All right, 247 Cam Bam says, Laura, what's a lyric that you live by? This could be from any one of your songs. I think this one's a hard one. But
This is so hard. Um, but great question. I guess it changes a little bit. I want to just like turn my chair around and just keep turning. Um, were lyrics that I live by. I really love the lyric I have in Not Like Me that sometimes does kind of serve as just a reminder for me in my life. It's my heart, oh my God, doesn't have a clock. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. I'm like, that's definitely, I don't say the word doesn't in that. I think it's my heart just don't have a clock or doesn't have a clock. So it can't tell when the timing's off. Um, that one I really do love because I think it's true that when you fall in love with someone or fall in love with something, um, you kind of can't control when that happens, and you sometimes have to just like run with that feeling. I'm definitely the type of person that is likes to be in control as much as I possibly can. And I think that is important for me, but sometimes it is important to just kind of let go and go with where your heart wants to go and let go of all the other kind of inhibitions and fears that come with it. And so I do love that lyric a lot.
okay, I love that. Laura, I cannot believe all the comments about Arrow right now that I'm reading. Everyone's like, if you don't keep the name, if you don't
I
keep
know,
this,
I'm telling you, very passionate fans. Very passionate. This is why I love them.
this
Um,
is amazing.
Sometimes tense, but most of the time I'm like, yes. So I kept calling it Arrow on tour, and then I did an interview, I think, where I called it by a longer name, Arrow in a Gunfight, because the lyric is Cupid's in the air tonight, but he got an arrow in a gunfight, because the idea is he's no match for like the stubbornness that this other person and I have for not making a move on each other. And I don't know, I really loved that lyric. Because it seemed cool to me. So that was potentially the title, but there's a lot of passion against that full title, which I understand. At one point, it was like Cupid was in the name of the title as well, but I know there's a lot of passion for keeping Arrow, so probably
There's
gonna make.
be some breakdowns if you change it,
I
okay?
know, I know.
All right, last question for you, Laura. Excuse me, Laura. Emily Witzel says, Laura, what's an accomplishment you are most proud of in your career? They're hitting you with these hard questions.
I also feel I am sometimes the worst person to answer these questions because I never give a straight answer. I'm like, well, I love all of these things. know, I think I'm always going to be so incredibly grateful for Austin and Ally. It was
Hmm.
an amazing experience. It was such amazing people. It brought me such amazing fans. It gave me such an amazing platform, and it was so fun to do. I learned a lot. I loved it very, very much. So that's one I'm very proud of, and certainly very happy that people still watch. And a lot of people came to my shows. That kind of blew me away. I think in some ways, maybe because of COVID being, a few years long and whatever. I don't know what exactly I was expecting in my audience, but I was blown away by how many older people were there and had like an amazing time and knew the songs. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because we kind of grew up together and, the show was on, over a decade ago now. It's going to be 11 years in December, which is crazy. So that one, of course, I feel very connected with. It was Saving Zoe was the first movie I ever produced. I did it with my sister. I produced with my mom and sister. And that's a really special movie for a variety of reasons, not only because it was our first one producing, but, we got to go to the UN to talk about sexual exploitation and online sexual exploitation. And it was a really special experience just all the way through. And again, really incredible, special people. Um, and then, this tour was very, very like special to me and something I'm immensely proud of. I think there's again so many things I have learned and things I would do differently. And, I there was a variety of people at the shows, a variety of like, we had a sold out show in New York, and then I got also COVID in the middle of tour, and so the funded rescheduled dates not everyone can make, and all of those different things. But I very much am so proud of the show that we did every single night. I'm so grateful for everyone who came. I'm just so grateful, proud, happy, all of the feelings about this first tour and about this SEP. So there's a lot of
There's
answers.
a lot. Yeah, but that's amazing. And everything, like, the fact that you could dip your toes into such different things and have such big wins, that's really incredible.
I am very thankful. And might need a few spa days. Put it on.
Hey, but in the end, it's worth it. But to finish this off, okay, because Austin Alley was a huge one. Would you ever be down for a reboot?
Yes. Okay. I mean, I anticipate I will get this question for the rest of my life. And I anticipate that I will always answer the same. I think people should ask just in case it changes, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Yes, 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 a million times yes, 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 yes. I think we would also be down to do a movie and film it in Hawaii or Paris or somewhere spectacular, because we all love each other as well. So that would just be a very fun time. I love everyone I did Austin Alley with. It was just such an amazing group of people. So yes, 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 100 times yes.
And you know what? I will not stop asking until we see it on our big screens, okay?
Love it. I love it. Keep it
There
up.
we go. Laura, you are just so incredible. I have the best things to say about you. Every time we speak is such a pleasure. So thank you so, so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. You are so lovely, and I appreciate that literally so much.
Absolutely. And everyone at home, make sure you guys are following Laura. I mean, go get her tickets, go hang out with her September 30th for her New York City show that was taped. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for her next single and so much more. And also be sure to be following Sweetie High because this will not be the last time we talk to Laura. Go enter a giveaway and so much more. Again, Laura, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
That's soon. Yay. Oh, there we have it. Laura Marano. How much do we all love her, you guys? But that is it for me. I'm your host, Sienna Leone. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are not new here, thank you so much for supporting us and so much more. Stay tuned. We have so much more coming, so many exciting interviews. So I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.